We are putting together one of our new enclosures today. I'm going to show you some of the stuff we're working with. Over here in the background is when we make our bulk substrate mix. And the products we're using, I mean, you can get all this stuff on the shop with the exception of the wick we're going to use. But I'll do a quick shameless plug with what we're using today. So we're using some of our Isopod substrate. This is our special blend. Some of our oak leaf litter. Know that if you get the oak that we have, it does have spiky sides on the sides. This is coastal live oak, so we're over here in Southern California. From those same trees, we're going to use some of our acorn caps. These are our oak acorn caps. Some of our cholla wood. These are about 2 inches, about maybe half an inch or larger in diameter. We got both clam shells and scallop shells. We use these dual purpose. We use them as feeding dishes. You can flip them upside down as hideouts. So we're going to use one of each. Um, and we just released these. These are like some custom hideouts that we make. We call it the Top Hat Isopod. It's kind of like a little cave. Kind of looks cute with decor and stuff. So that's the stuff we're going to be using in there. Additionally, we do not sell these, but to assist our moisture, we are going to be using these pod wicks. I put out some other videos on this before, so you guys can check those out, and that's going to help us when we're keeping this stuff hydrated. And then we are going to use some moss also for our hydration station. So when you guys do buy isopods from us, they do come in our fresh green forest moss, so you guys can use that in one of your corners. Um, and we already made what we call our posh bin with our 2-inch screens on the sides. So where the screens are, that's where the most ventilation will be. So that'll be our dry side. So we'll set up this side with the moisture, the wick and stuff. So we're going to start by adding some substrate. We're just going to grab from our bulk so we don't have to open a package. But if you guys take advantage of getting our special blend in our shop, you guys can just open that up and pour it out. Maybe start with half, see how that does. And so we're just going to keep it nice and loose. You don't want to compact it. They will dig around. The isopods will dig around and play and do all the things they need to do. And all the ingredients that are in our special blend are on the package as well as on the shop description. So you guys can go check that out. It's nice and loose. It's dry at the moment. They're going to love this stuff. We already know we already use this. So this is what we call our special blend. All right. So I want a little more on this middle. So the pods that we're putting in here, I don't know which ones we're putting in yet, but right now they're in little deli cups because we're just getting them started. So they do have a little bit of material in there that's also going to go in here at the end. So I don't want this too high. And I also want room so we can add more stuff later. So again, the dry side with the ventilation, we're going to start adding some moss to the um, hydration side, to the wet side. So we're just going to spread this around. This is just some sphagnum moss. So if you guys haven't done this before, be careful. You guys see I kind of built a little moss ladder. So where these latches are, there's holes they can get out. So I do like to pack those down in the corners a little bit. And then I do like to start off by spraying them to start putting them where I want them. And then I'm going to add some of this fresh green forest moss. This is the stuff that we ship our isopods in. So they seem to like it. And then I mix a little bit of both very nicely. I'm going to get my sprayer, compact that just a little bit. You guys can get one of these cool sprayers, pump sprayers. It's just got water in it. You can get it from your local big box hardware stores or wherever you buy your supplies. So as you guys can see, I barely misted that, but again, I don't want to build them little escape hatches. So sometimes what we do, depending on the species, is we'll work on plugging these up with sponges and tape and all the other stuff. I'm sure people use different methods. So there's our substrate and moss. And again, the moss is on the going to be the moist side. So what I want to do is I want to put this kind of over here. And I'm going to move some of this substrate so that's nice in there. I don't need that falling down. Um, Hopefully Derek over at Podwicks is going to be happy I didn't take the top off this time. So everyone uses squeezy bottles to keep these things full. Compact a little there and add a little more substrate. So This is a 6-quart bin. Again, we do have a video that you can watch on our YouTube channel. The link should be on our website if you guys do need to see how we build it. So now that pod wick's in, I'm going to use that same sprayer. Turn it to more of a stream and get in there. Now, if it sprays a little bit on the sides, it's okay. We're trying to get this area moist anyway. So, well, you guys will see this fill up. And if you watched our other video, these are pod wicks. So, there you go. So, what will happen is that water will go through the wick up and over through this tubing down the wick, and it'll do a bottom feed of hydration. So that's good because it'll take about 30 minutes. So instead of me sitting here for 30 minutes spraying this area lightly, it'll do it for me. So you guys just saw the care that I probably need to do for the next week. Add a piece of chola decor in there. I like the dry side to have my feeding dish. So here's one of my shells. And then I'm going to flip this one for decoration and a hideout. So that one's just there. They'll find their way under there. And there is my cave. Pretty cool. There's a dozen or more acorn caps in here. I'm just going to give it all to them. They can have fun. They like to hide in there and make them little hotels, little isopod hideouts. And also when they start deteriorating, as you guys know, these little detrivores, these isopods, they like decaying organic matter. So if they start decaying, it's okay. They'll eat them, and it's just some more good stuff for them. So now you guys see all that fun stuff. I don't think I have any cork bark. Usually I do add cork bark. Let me check. I do have some of this, not cork bark, but I do have some rotted wood. We'll throw that in there. Yep, a bunch of shavings and stuff. They'll make that a little playground. And probably I need a third of this bag for now. Again, I'm adding some material from where they're coming from, so I know you don't get to see all the beautiful stuff I just did in there, but hopefully you guys were able to see how I designed that. And just like that, it's only been a few minutes, and you guys can see I'm already ready to add Isopod. So we decided to add our spinosus, and just in time because it is looking a little dry here. So as you can see, they already have little pieces of cork bark. We'll just set it in there for now. This is a moist egg carton. You can see a couple spinosus there. Oh, maybe I'm not in the camera. There you go. And there's even a, set this down. There's even a young one right here if it zooms in, focuses. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's a young one right there. So they're having babies, which is cool. They look awesome. These are those spiky spinosus. Cuban spiky, sometimes people call them. So that's a moist egg carton. So we'll put that near the moist side. You'll see some more sphagnum moss. Now here's where I'm going to be very gentle because who knows where these guys are hiding. Actually, I see a couple babies in this moss right here. So we're going to put it on the mossy side. And I put that in the middle so it's away from these two sides where I said they can kind of climb out. So even though it went up a little bit, there's nothing for them to climb out on. So again, there's more of these spikies in here. This is where you want to be very careful. So everyone's like, how do I get them out? How do I do this? How do I do that? We're just being very gentle, and they will eventually find their way around their new town. Actually just saw there's a couple scraps of magnolia leaves. Change up some of their leaf litter. I don't really think these guys need too much leaf litter, this particular species, but I try to treat them all the same. So that one's cool. It's crispy, but still green on that side. There's a magnolia leaf. But we do also sell magnolia leaves on our shop, so if you guys are looking for something other than oak, I know some people don't like the spiky kind we have, but I do. Yeah, there's all kinds of spinosus in here, so they're actually doing pretty good. So I'm going to gently loosen some of the substrate. You guys see, here's one right here, and a lot of people, some people actually don't think these are real. I can assure you they're real. This one's curled up right now. And a lot of people go, well, do they hurt? And I think the joke amongst all the other pod people is, well, it hurts your pocketbook because these guys are a little rare and expensive. So, and if you can find them, we can't ship these guys over state lines, so you probably have to find them at like a one of your local shows. So they don't actually hurt. Um, at least that I've seen, they don't hurt you. So loosen some of this up very gently, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it, and they will find their way. If you're worried about dirt being on top of leaves or vice versa, they will figure it out. That's why we're being very loose about it. Keeping everything nice and loose so they can move around. You know, I know this I don't really like bothering them, but this is for them to have a nicer environment than waiting to do this. Um, we don't sell these on our shop. If anyone's curious, we don't sell these. We only sell the ones on our shop that we can get permits to ship over state lines. So this is fairly loose. It's light. So don't worry, I'm not hurting them. You guys can see I'm kind of covering up that top hat isopod cave right now. I probably should have done this before adding the leaf litter, but it's okay. I'm trying not to get it in the pod wick. So this is the hard part, is you guys see, there's my empty container, right? I don't see anything really in there moving. It could be a baby. In fact, I think I see a baby in this very bottom corner right here. So what I'm going to use is, what I like to use, if, and this, when I say use this, we use these soft paint brushes to move isopods. And when I say we use them, these were never used for painting. We bought them strictly for this, and you want them soft. So we're going to gently see if we can get him out, or her, I don't know. And the babies are very small, so you gotta be very careful with this one. And see if we can get him. Okay, he just rolled, turned into a ball. That's perfect. Now that little spiky jelly bean can roll out. So that's why I don't want to say you're done until you kind of checked it. Some people may rinse them. I don't want to do that. You can drown them. I'm trying not to. So I'm just moving this bottom dirt very lightly, a little bit at a time. Yeah, it's probably taking me an extra minute or two to set this one up, but it's worth it. This is one of our rare isopods. And again, you guys see me moving dirt around. I do not see anything else in here. And if there is, I'm being very light about it. All this other stuff, that looks like calcium powder. All right, so for the most part, I don't think anything else is in there that I need. So what I am gonna do, because I don't have a label on this bin yet, is I am going, this is now the spinosis tub, so I want to know that in the future. So until I get a label on this one, I'm going to leave this box right on it. So I'm probably prepping, I don't know, 8 or 10 new bins right now, so they will all look like this in a minute. And then I will go print sticker labels, put them on there, and add them back to the collection. So again, I hope this helped you guys. We got tons of supplies at holypolyisopods.com. The link's in our bio. And yeah, again, give us a like. Tell us your thoughts. All right, we're still working on bins. I showed you the Podwick on the last one I was building. This is Easy Eddie's Wickeds that I'm using here. So this was more of a permanent install where we drilled a hole in the side. But I did want to show you guys how I set this one up. And I'm no expert. In fact, this is the first one I'm setting up with the Wicked. So what we do is when we get bulk stuff come in, some of the stuff shows up broken. We try not to sell it. If you guys do receive it broken, it's okay. It still works. It still has a bunch of lotus seeds in there, so they'll kind of work on those. But we kind of add all this cool stuff in there, and we will be adding our Silent Hill in here. This is our Venezillo Parvis Silent Hill. So if you guys haven't seen these yet, they're actually pretty small. Probably have a bunch in here now. I haven't checked them in a minute. You can hardly see them. They're a dwarf species, so right in front of my finger, there's a gray one right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Bunch of springtails running around right there. So we have a few of them in here. We want to get this one going. So this is going to be our Silent Hill bin. There's their cork bark, a little bit of leaf litter, sphagnum moss, very gentle. Trying to get all the moss out first on this wet side. And then this is very soft and powdery. You guys see, I'm actually doing this backwards in the last video where I'm adding the soil first, or I'm adding a bunch of junk. So this is the substrate with the isopods in it currently. So seeing what soft powder comes out. All right, that looks pretty good. Where'd my paintbrush go? Yes. So some of this stuff, when it gets wet, it compacts on the creases, especially on these square boxes. And so all I'm doing is lightly loosening it. That way it pours out kind of like powder, very nice and light. Trying to affect as few pods as possible. I don't really see anything in here anymore, but we're just going to get all this goodness out just in case there's a little one that wants to grow up. Okay, there's our Silent Hill. Checking it. I don't see nothing. Okay. Really nothing in there anymore. There you go. All right, now I can move stuff around because they're in here somewhere. So all this stuff's on our dry side. See, the vents are over here, and then the wicked is over here. Now, what I wanted to show you guys, though, was how easy and fast Wicked's Easy Eddie. These are from Easy Eddie, so when it's easy, all we do is pour this on the outside, and you do this with the lid on. This is the first one I poured. You guys just saw it. There's no lid for those. And to my understanding, you see how the wick's on the bottom, so there's not a ton of wick here to soak up that water. Supposedly this takes hours to drain down, so we will see. So that'll go under here, under this substrate and moss, and keep this side moist. So you guys can see that is happening. Add some acorn caps. I probably could have just added 6 of them and saved the other 6 for another bin, but what I did like was I didn't add the leaf litter yet. I probably shouldn't have filled that water up all the way too, because I've got to move this bin, but I'll just have to do it gently and be nice about it. So there's some of that oak leaf litter. Cool. Here's some magnolia and other scraps. See what else I have. Piece of rotting wood right there. Nice magnolia leaf. I just have a scrap box when I'm doing this. So if you guys do find, like I said, broken pieces, like this is cork bark, broken cholla wood, give that to them. It's really light material. Yeah, just because something breaks like that doesn't mean you guys can't save it. You can even just sprinkle in all this scraps. They love it. And then that is that. So that is the end of that bin. The Silent Hill. We'll get a label on that and add it to the collection. So we were so focused on these different types of wicks and wicking materials that we were installing into these bins that we didn't want to miss this. So before you guys comment and say, you didn't add calcium. Yeah, we didn't, but we do. And we add the same things that we sell in our shop. So we use the same things that we offer. You could either add We have limestone rocks. These are from Tennessee. We really do like those. Great for cubaris. There's our seashell feeding dish. We also have calcium carbonate, which is just pulverized, powderized limestone. So it looks like flour almost. It looks like white powder. So calcium carbonate is limestone or a limestone rock. We also have pulverized oyster shells. Now this isn't powder, but it's more of like a small rock, gravel, rubble. Probably gravel is the best way to describe it. So um, we can add some directly, especially if you add the rock, right? You can add some directly to that seashell feeding dish. A lot of people say, "How much do you add?" Well, if I can't see it anymore, then I don't have any. Um, that was probably too much. So we just made a little trail up to the seashell feeding dish. Now, if we do add food, it'll mix with that calcium. Yeah, don't forget to add calcium. It's pretty important.